Let's go. Well, good evening and welcome to the City of Sunbury Council meeting. Today's October 1st, 2025. If you please join me in a silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I should have said the mayor is absent this evening, so unfortunately you get me tonight. But let's go ahead and we can begin with roll call.
Mr. Grumney?
Here.
Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mrs. Cooper? Here. Mr. Ayer?
Yes, here.
Mr. Capel?
Here.
Mayor St. John is absent and Mr. Ghost is absent. By present, we have quorum.
Thank you very much, Amber. We do have a public hearing this evening for 142 East Granville Street, a rezoning. And okay, we do have this now for online. Hello. All right. And I think I'd like to begin, if we could, to have our city attorney, Mr. Dave Bream, go through the process, the formalities of the public hearing.
So this public hearing testimony will be offered. If you think you might want to testify tonight, it doesn't obligate you to testify, but you need to be sworn in. So I'm going to have you stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in by the court reporter. You don't have to testify, but if you think you might, please stand, raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you'll present will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do. Prior to taking testimony, we have some exhibits to enter in to the record. I've got a first group which has been marked for identification purposes as Exhibit A. It includes the public notice, the proof of publication, including the list of the adjoining property owners. That would be Exhibit A for identification purposes. I also have Exhibit B, which is a group of documents that is the package of the applicant and includes the rezoning application. It includes the site plan, including an aerial map. It includes a warranty deed with attached exhibit. And again, those would be marked as a package for Exhibit B for identification purposes. Is the applicant or representative of the applicant here tonight? Do you consent to these being marked as exhibits?
Yes.
With that, we'd offer testimony. Usually we begin with the applicant.
Thank you.
Good evening, council. My name is Jared Fodor, and I, along with Scott Fodor, are requesting the rezoning of 142 East Granville Street from industrial to C2 commercial. I believe that with the location of this parcel, commercial zoning allows for a more appropriate use of the land. It's located with high visibility on a busy state route and just a couple blocks off the town square. Additionally, the two parcels directly to the north, which would be a multi-use building and certified gas station, are also zoned commercial. And then there's multiple parcels across Granville Street, which are also zoned commercial. So I believe that commercial zoning is appropriate when looking at the location of this parcel within the city and the adjacent properties. I'm specifically requesting for the rezoning because my intended use of the existing building on the parcel would not be allowed with the current zoning. Even when I asked about a conditional use permit, I intend to do a remodel and addition on the existing building so my wife can locate her business, Sunbury Dance Academy, there. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Fodor. I appreciate the presentation and the comments. Does council have any questions for Mr.?
I just wondered, what was the name of the business that your wife's gonna open?
Sunbury Dance Academy.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions? Does the staff have any additional comments they'd like to add?
The only other thing I would draw your attention to, and I think Mr. Fodor mentioned this as well, is that Mr. Bree mentioned this, there is a preliminary site plan in the package. It does show that the applicant is proposing some new buildings, additional parking on the site. The applicant is asking is that you rezone the property at this point. He would be back in front of Planning and Zoning Commission for the site plan in more detail at a later point.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Anyone from the public like to speak or ask questions? All right, hearing or seeing none, I'd like to close this public hearing. Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you, Sarah.
Okay, moving on to, we have minutes that we need to approve. So we have minutes from our September 17th, 2025 meeting. Looking for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. I'll second. Discussion?
There's only one thing this time.
Okay, one, all right.
It's, well, it's actually two things, but it's about the same thing. At the very beginning of the minutes, it says Mr. Capel is absent. And then at the end of the meeting, it says Mr. Capel seconded the motion to adjourn. But that was hard for him to do because he wasn't here. So we need to change that part of it.
I will get that corrected. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're just testing him, aren't you?
All right, well, we had a motion from Ms. Cooper, second by myself. So could we get, thank you, Mr. Martin, could we get a roll call?
Mrs. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Grumney?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Ms. Strayer?
Yes.
Mr. Capel?
Abstain.
4 yeas, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to visitors, we do have one scheduled visitor. It is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And we have, I believe, Miss Jessica Chudlin here. Cudlin? Okay, did I say, this is why I need to put Cudlin, yes. From the American Cancer Society, if you'd like to come up and speak. The floor is yours.
Thank you, council. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to pull this up really quick. So thank you so much for recognizing October as Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in Sunbury. As a 13-year breast cancer survivor, this moment is deeply personal to me. I know firsthand the fear and uncertainty that come with hearing the words "you have cancer," but I also know the incredible power of community support and hope. That's why I'm so honored to be a volunteer with the American Cancer Society and accept this recognition and proclamation today. Together, we are not just raising awareness, but we're saving lives. Thank you for standing with us all in this fight, council.
We do, if you actually want to stay up there, we have a proclamation to read for you. If you want to stay up there, you're not done being recognized here. So we got to get, first of all, thank you for your courage and your volunteerism on such an important cause. So I'll go ahead and read the proclamation for you. It's proclamation declaring October 2025 Breast Cancer Awareness Month in Sunbury. Whereas breast cancer is the second most common form of cancer in women after skin cancer, and whereas breast cancer is about 100 times more common in women than men, 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with the disease, and diagnosis increase as patients get older. And whereas metastatic breast cancer occurs when breast cancer spreads to other parts of the body, including the bones, lungs, liver, and brain, resulting in an average life expectancy of 26 months. And whereas doctors estimate that about 5 to 10% of breast cancers are hereditary, and individuals whose family history puts them at increased risk for breast cancer should discuss with their doctors or qualified health professional the proper prevention and early diagnosis strategies. And whereas since early diagnosis strategies have been introduced, the 5-year survival rate for a breast cancer patient has greatly increased to now almost 90%. And whereas Breast Cancer Awareness Month serves as an opportunity to increase awareness of the disease and to encourage individuals to have a plan to detect the disease in its early stages. And whereas it is vital that those affected by breast cancer have access to quality, affordable care, and that research of all forms of breast cancer continues to be vigorously supported. Now therefore, I, John Grumney, on behalf of Mayor Joseph St. John, do hereby proclaim October 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month in the city of Sunbury, Ohio, and call this observance to the attention of our citizens. Congratulations. Okay, so, we'll meet out here in the front. Come on, Dave.
We'll run over you.
No, you're good, you're good.
Yes.
I'll move it as fast as I think.
One, two.
Great, thank you.
We're still on the visitor section. Is there anyone else who's a visitor who would like to speak to council this evening? Yes. If you please come up and state your name and address.
Sure. So my name is Molly Snodgrass. My address is 16001 Lewis Road. I live out in Harlem Township. I am a candidate for the Big Walnut Board of Education in this November's election. So I've been trying to make my way around to the different township trustee meetings and city and village council to introduce myself to, the leadership of the different entities, as well as anyone who might be present or listening. A little bit about myself. So my husband and I moved to Harlem Township back in 2020 and built our home there, intending it to be our forever home. We have two young sons, one who attends Souders at 2nd grade and a preschooler who will start there next year. We intend to be here for the next 50 years, God willing. So we have a truly vested interest in the future of Big Walnut schools and the entire community. I took an active interest early on in getting involved in Harlem Township, where we live. I've served on several volunteer committees in the township. And then when my son started kindergarten, I started paying attention to school board meetings and seeing what was going on in the Big Walnut School District. And then when the time came for an election, I felt the calling to put my name in the hat to hopefully get elected to school board and to serve in that way. So a little bit about me professionally. I have a degree in chemical engineering, and I currently work at Abbott Nutrition as a contract manufacturing manager. So I manage the business relationship with other suppliers who make product on behalf of Abbott. That involves contract negotiation. So I actually have experience in contract negotiation, which would be really useful for a Board of Education position, as well as just kind of managing day-to-day operations of those business relationships. Some things that I would want to focus on if I were to be elected to the Board of Education is increasing advocacy and outreach of the board members, increasing communication and collaboration within the board and also externally, and also basically focusing on the future and making sure we have a solid strategic plan and actionable goals and steps to achieve them. So I won't touch too much on the advocacy and outreach, but on collaboration, I feel that we need to have really strong partnerships with the townships and municipalities that make up Big Walnut. Because as you all know, our district is growing, all these entities are growing, and that growth, the school district cannot directly influence that, but we have to respond to it. So making sure that we have truly strong partnerships with all of the entities that make up our school district is going to be very important as all of these areas continue to grow into the future. So that's the collaboration piece. And then the other area that I think is most relevant to touch on here in the city council is the kind of strategic planning part of it. So Big Walnut did have a strategic plan that was done, I think, in 2015, and they called it Vision 2020. Well, Vision 2020 is 5 years ago. We've had a complete change in administration since then. We have a new superintendent, a new treasurer, a new director of academic achievement, and there's not been an update to that strategic plan done. And I feel that that is a disservice to our school district, and I feel that that's something that really needs to be rectified. And if I were to get elected to the board, I would champion making sure that we initiate an update to that plan so that we can have actionable goals put in place. I'd be happy to answer any questions. I try to keep it short because I know I have a time limit here.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So how do you feel about young men using women's bathrooms, so young girls' bathrooms?
Well, the interesting thing about that is my opinion on it is completely irrelevant because the state of Ohio has actually passed laws that address those issues. So in 2024, the Ohio General Assembly passed a law that requires students to participate in the sport that aligns with their sex assigned at birth, and also that bathrooms, locker rooms, and other such facilities are only to be used of the sex that you were assigned at birth.
So you would support it?
That what, pardon?
You would support that?
I would have to swear an oath to uphold state law, so I really have no option to do otherwise. And this is not something that I would advocate to change. I don't see that law changing anytime soon or ever. So it's really not a focus area of mine. I want to focus on things that I actually would be able to have influence on as a school board member and not things that I would have no influence on.
One other question. If you could change something about the board now, what would it be?
I think there is a little bit of a need to display some more respect in their communication styles. I feel that we need to be setting the example for students because that's who we serve ultimately. And I think especially in a couple of recent meetings, there's just been a little bit of disrespect that I sense going on between the board members. That would be something very easy to change just in the approach that you bring and how you interact with your fellow board members. That is not even necessarily something that's hard to do, right? So I would want to come in with an open mind and a willingness to work with all parties involved to have discussions that move our district forward.
So between the board members and the public?
Pardon?
Between the board members
Yes.
and the public, you would try and get along better both ways?
Yes, because there is an element of the public participation as well, but I feel that our current board is not necessarily focusing heavily on communicating with the community, or at least I don't feel like I've been communicated with well. And so that is something that we have opportunities for improvement on as well.
Mr. Hennessy, you.
I was just going to say, so one other thing, maybe just, there is an opportunity, I think the candidates for the Board of Election will be in town hall tomorrow night. So residents, if you are interested in interacting with the candidates, there would be an opportunity to ask some questions.
That's a good call out. Thank you so much. There is a forum tomorrow evening at 6:30 p.m. right here.
Right here. So yeah, thank you.
Well, thanks for speaking to us tonight, Mrs. Snodgrass, and thanks for your interest in the schools. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, any other visitors before we move on? Like to speak? Okay, thank you. We'll go on to committee reports, and Mr. Start with you.
Okay, recently during the Delaware County Regional Planning Commission, the most interesting things to us, I believe, is the Trenton Township Zoning Commission text and map. They are redoing their comprehensive plan without getting too far into it because they do have a lot to change, but they are planning for the future, and it included a future land use map to include light industrial and mixed use areas right through the middle of Trenton Township, and it's going to be interesting to see. They know the development is coming, and they are getting their layouts ready and preparation. So try and keep you posted.
Thank you. Appreciate the update. Mr. Capel.
Yes, we had a very full and informative services committee meeting right before this. So the highlight was Ms. Odebrowski presenting some potential options to look at for designs for our street improvement program for 2026. We've talked a lot recently about trying to get a jump start on that so that we can get more favorable bidding earlier in the year. So some of the ideas that were pitched for a little more outside the box street improvements included potentially potentially improvements to South Vernon Street, south of Granville. Down around the curve has always been, or has been on our schedule for a couple of years now, but the street has risen about to the level of the curb. So potentially getting a more proper curb line down Vernon Street, and also taking care of the flooding issues that are happening down that direction. Another potential idea was some widening on North Miller Drive. Obviously, that's one of our busiest intersections in town. So any improvement there is welcome. And then we talked about OPWC grant funding, and one of the potential ideas for that was a new term that I learned tonight, because every now and then services teaches me something new, mountable curb. So semis have a tendency to run over the curb around the bend at Cherry Street and 37 there. And one of the ideas is to make a more inclined curb that's a little higher density so that semis can hit it and not destroy it. All of these are just ideas for detail, or excuse me, for design that we can potentially look at and see over the next year or several years, some of the improvements we can adopt. We've got an application in for a rural and tribal grant to sync signals across the city. More updates coming on that in the future. Wastewater treatment plant expansion was another topic, and you have a map here. This is an awesome visual of the different parts of the project that are going on and when they are being worked on. So great reference. Then in January, we are going to be moving forward with the Cheshire Ditch sewer lining. So basically putting in a liner for the entire stormwater sewer in that area. It'll take about 5 days to complete, depending on the weather. There's a lot of fractures in the line, so we're anticipating that this helps divert quite a bit of water away from sanitary sewer and back it where it belongs. And then there's a handful of things to expect in the next meeting. So preview, we've got updates from our Safe Streets for All program. We just wrapped up our work on that here a couple weeks ago. So expect some updates in November on that, as well as the Kentner development and some of our capital projects and funding applications. So I think I hit on everything.
I think you did.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Capel. Mrs. Cooper.
Yes, we also had a Parks and Rec meeting earlier this afternoon. If you didn't see it on Facebook, you probably have seen it while driving, that Johnny Appleseed is up over there in Old Orchard Park. And he looks great. You can see him going both ways on Granville. He's shiny and new, and he looks great. Good placement. Jake and his team would like to plant some apple trees around there. So that is something that Daryl has said they'll set him going on that path of what he has to do for that. Mrs. Odebrowski told us that, we've been talking a long time about the drainage issues over there along that path. And she said they are working on that, and she expects that to be handled by the end of the calendar year. So I know Mr. Gross will be happy to hear that. We spent the bulk of our time talking about J.R. Smith design and financing. Right now, Mrs. Odebrowski told us that she has 60% design, but she is expecting to get 90% to her by October 8th. So here real soon, she expects that. And she's hoping that we can go out to bid in November. And she's hoping to get a contract by the end of the year. As a reminder, we're sort of working on two paths here. We're working with the build, and then we're working with the financing. And Mr. Hennessy and Ms. Steffen had a phone call with our bond counsel and our city advisor about our bank financing. Or they have one scheduled, or you had one?
Scheduled for later this week.
You have one scheduled. Until then, until we get the bids in, we're not going to have an exact number. We're anticipating $3 to $3.5 million. This is what we've been discussing. And as a reminder, we have $1 million placeholder from ARPA funds and Department of Natural Resource grant we've received. I brought it up before, you might not remember, we discussed this in an events committee about a donation policy where one might donate, a small amount of money or up to, you want to donate a couple grand for a splash pad. So, Mr. Hennessy is going to be working on that, and we're probably going to bring that forward to council. We have a donation policy set now. We've had donations to the police department and such, but we'll probably bring that forward when he sort of works out the numbers, like X amount gets you this. When he kind of finalizes that, we'll bring it to council. But one thing that Mr. Martin had suggested was this winter, when we think that the ground is going to get moved, we might have a groundbreaking ceremony and invite J.R. Smith to that. And then when the project is complete, we will have a ribbon cutting too. So it's very exciting to get going on this. I think my first memory of meeting Mayor St. John was at a Parks open house discussing J.R. Smith. I mean, 8 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very exciting. It's Miss Odebrowski just had tons of good information. She's really keeping everything going. So between her and Mr. Hennessy, so thanks to our staff for keeping that going.
Thank you, Ms. Cooper. And I know, I think I've asked this question before, and you're not very smart when you can't remember the answer, but are we able to do, so you talked about donations. Has there been discussions about sponsorships? I mean, can someone sponsor a splash pad and say, hey, it's the X company splash pad?
Yeah, I think that's the broader.
That's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we do have a framework spelled out, yeah, for if a large corporate entity
Yeah, okay.
wanted to make a significant donation. Again, that's what she's referencing. We have the very preliminary framework of that, but
Okay.
we want to get that back in front of
Flesh that out, because we were in our events committee, we were talking like, well, let's say John Grumney Incorporated wanted to donate $5,000. Does that go on there forever and in infinity? And then Mr. Capel was like, well, maybe for the lifetime expectancy or so. So they're sort of working that stuff out. So
Very good.
you can open your wallet later.
Should I incorporate my business? All right, thanks for the update. Mr. Martin?
Nothing.
Okay, thank you. All right, that moves us on to the police report. We have Chief Howard here this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Rumney. Just want to let everybody know, we met with Melissa Maxton. She's the art teacher at Big Walnut. She's been trying since the city bought the building to make that a police department. They want to come down and paint a mural for us. So she come down, she's got a couple places that she's interested in. They're going to bring us some basically ideas or designs for us to approve. And then once we get those, we'll bring them to you. And once that's done, they can start painting those and have those done by February.
Is that
We're
an
looking forward
inside
to
wall or an outside wall?
Inside.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there's like three
I'm sure
different
there's a lot
areas.
of talent over there.
Yes, those kids are amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We've had a few community engagements, and on the first one here, we want to thank St. John Newman. And after I put this on here, they brought down a very generous gift basket, several cards from their members. And that's why this name sticks out. But I got to tell you, there has been probably 5 or 6 donations brought in that I do not even get to see who those are from, because they bring in all these goodies and the guys are like vultures. So,
Teenagers, huh?
yeah, I mean, before we get there, the boxes are empty and thrown in the trash. And for everybody that has brought things down to us, we deeply appreciate it. And I wish I knew who all those were to thank personally, but I don't. We did do a community engagement with Noah's Ark with Officer Casey Newsom and Steve Alexander. It's nice to go down. They enjoyed talking to the kids and basically did like a touch a truck type thing, took a cruiser down. They got to talk to them. Kids got to see the car, ask questions. Our Cram the Cruiser event, it went well. We've done that for several years. And we fill a cruiser, and then all the donated items from Kroger go to Friends Who Share or the Vineyard Church to help people in need.
I think there's some off the books community engagements at Cream Corner sometimes.
You'd be right.
See some police officers over there from time to time.
Not that they would like ice cream or nothing. What was not in your packet that I handed out this evening is the patrol stats for September 24 compared to September 25. As you can see, our calls for service are up 180 calls roughly. which shows office or also in the traffic stops and citations. If you have questions on that, I can answer those. I do have the printouts of that. I didn't want to make a bunch of copies, but if somebody's interested in seeing what those are individually, let me know and I can get those with you or to you. The radar sign data, South Old 3C and Southview. That we've been doing, as you see, let me back up to the enforcement. If you see the traffic stops and citations, we've been focusing hard on speed because we get so many complaints about it around the city. As you can see that our warning rate went from almost 70 to, what is it, 57 or something like that. But on South 03 at Southview, that's been a high target area. 25% of the cars that are coming up through there are over 35 mile an hour. We're averaging almost 10,000 cars a week on that road. Even when you take the 2,500 cars out that were over 35, the average speed there is still 25.5, which amazed me. Weatherby and Fairland, there's about 3,000 cars a week there. 18.5% were violations of over 35, and the average speed is 23.5. North Miller at Meyer, 6,700 cars there. Only 8.5% were violators of over 35, and the average speed was 21 miles an hour, 21.4 to be exact. Harlan Meadows at GRE, this one surprised me. There's 6,500 cars a week there, and less than 1% was over a 10 mile an hour violation. The average speed there in that area was 22 miles per hour. The signs are currently up right now. We have one on Ping near Callaway. There's one at Saffron and Butterfly, North Columbus and Rainbow, and Sunbury Meadows and Viola. So the next month we'll give you the data on that, those locations. And that's all I have unless you have questions. Just curious, Chief, when you're setting the sign in a school zone, are you tracking during posted hours separately, or is it's reading the same? Just reading the same all the time.
And Chief, I just had a question. So on your patrol stats from 24 to 25, significant increase in all categories, but not looking for specifics, because I'm sure you don't have all that data, but is there any overriding theme as to why, like, for example, total service calls are up, so much from 304 to 485? I understand the traffic stops or citations. We're trying to send a stronger message, but as far as total calls for service, just curious if there's a theme or something.
I think our traffic stops are down, and our total calls for service as a whole was, we were moving into the new building in September of last year.
Okay.
So we had a couple of weeks there that we were pretty much down and only responding to calls that we were needed on as we move things.
That makes sense.
So,
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for Chief Howard? All right. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And thanks for your commitment to community engagement too. I think it's so important for a city or town or, a village, whatever, to have people engage with the police and get to know them. So thank you for those efforts.
You're going to the Enid Walnut Trail next.
Okay.
That's always a good time.
Very good. Look forward to see you at Halloween too. So that's good. All right. I think we're on to the administrator's report, Mr. Hennessy.
Yeah, so 3 quick items for tonight. One is the fall leaf collection schedule. I have attached that to your packet. The important points to note: we will begin collection of leaves next week, October 6th, conclude the first week in December. But I do have a note there that sometimes we will do an extension on the back end to just catch some late collectors, or if the leaves aren't falling quite as quickly as the typical schedule might suggest. So that's out there. We do have it available at the city municipal building as well, and I think it's on Facebook as well. So that's issue 1. Issue 2, super loads. Actually, this is somewhat related to the discussion we had at the
Services Committee meeting. So we've talked a little bit about this. There are going to be 3 very large AEP transformers delivered to the Vassal substation later this month. So on Sunday, October 12th, 19th, and 26th, there will be one of the transformers coming through each of those 3 weeks. There will be some temporary road closures as a result of that. So we will be blocking traffic on Cherry on both sides of the road at the square between Vernon and Columbus. Between 12 and 3 is when we anticipate the transformers are coming through the city of Sunbury. So obviously this turn down here is a significant challenge. They will be installing temporary rigging or metal plates on the Lady Liberty side. So they will be mounting the curb there, even though it's not permitted. But there will be those put in place to help protect the turf and protect the sidewalk and the curb and what have you. So these are, again, very, very large vehicles. I think they did this a few years ago, and so they're updating the transformers over there. The contractor will take images prior to and after the transformers are delivered. So if there's any damage, we'll be able to identify that and go after the contractor for the repairs. So just keep that in mind. I'll continue to keep you posted on that and keep the residents posted on that. I mean, these transformers are large. It may require some work with the signals in order to get through the intersection. So they're not going to be moving quickly through town. We do know that they're going to remove the pedestrian button down there on that corner, and we'll have a temporary one in place for about 3 weeks. So again, a pretty significant effort. And then the final thing, it's not on this, but I did want to mention, on the ballot this year will be the charter amendments. We've talked about that in the past. I did indicate that we would be doing a mailing to the electors. That is underway. So you should be expecting, and every elector in the city of Sunbury should be expecting a copy of the charter with the proposed amendments delivered to them. There are roughly 3,200, 3,300 electors in the city of, or unique households with electors in the city of Sunbury. So 3,300 mailings. Special thanks to Amber for all the work that she's doing. I mean, a lot of staff has spent some time on this, but nobody more than Amber has been involved. So thank you for that.
And then it's really good.
Thank you.
All right. And that's it, unless anybody has questions for me.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. Thank you. And then we're on to the engineer's report with Ms. Obrowski.
Good evening, Council. Just a couple of updates. I also wanted to expand a little bit on the handout that Mr. Capel pointed out was shared with the Services Committee for the wastewater treatment plant expansion. The document that you had as a separate handout is an 11 by 17. On page 24 of the council packet is an 8.5 by 11. So you can see why I didn't print that out for you. It is difficult to read. I'll work with Ms. Swain to get the larger version on the website in case the public would like to see a more readable version of that map. But essentially, it condenses what is a very extensive schedule into a visual aid that tells you approximately when they anticipating doing work and upgrades on the different components around the wastewater treatment plant. Just keep it with a grain of salt, because this project will last through the end of 2027. The dates will likely move slightly. As I get updates at progress meetings, I'm happy to update the document and share online, and also include it in my council updates. And if requested, I'm happy to continue to print out a version, but it is a very good summary of what is occurring for this large critical investment.
For sure.
The other item I wanted to point out was the Columbus Street parking lot. If you haven't seen the corner of Granville and Columbus, it is under construction for the paver parking lot that should be completed by Thanksgiving time period. And when I say completed, hopefully vehicles will be able to park at that point, with the exception that lighting may not be available. We're waiting to see when we can get some of the parts and pieces in. So that lighting may follow in the spring. But essentially you should see work there over the next several months, and hopefully we'll be able to provide 26 additional parking spaces to the community, which is desperately needed up on the square. Skipping ahead, I had mentioned under other items at my last update, that Evening Street was going to be under construction for a Delco water line replacement. One of the things I mentioned in my update was that at some point I thought Granville Street was going to be closed. But the good news is I talked to the project manager, and because the tie-in at Granville that needs to occur from Evening Street is just a little bit to the north, they believe that they can stay out of the roadway and keep that intersection open, which will be beneficial. I believe they should be complete with the main line installation and opening the road. I had October 6th, but if they are ahead of schedule, which I know we had an update, it's possible they could open it at the end of this week. And that concludes my updates, but I'm happy to take any questions.
Any questions? While you're out there, I'd like to just say that I truly appreciate the information you share and how you share it. It's very understandable. It's easier to follow than maybe what I've experienced in the past. So I just appreciate your organization, the way you present, the way you keep us informed on projects that are moving along with pictures and conversation. So thank you very much. Very much appreciate it.
I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you. So that moves us on to resolutions. And we have no third readings. We do have a second reading, which is resolution 2025.26, which is a resolution accepting a proposal from American Structure Point, Inc. for preliminary design services for the city of Sunbury State Route 37 road widening and pedestrian bridge project. And I don't believe anything needs to be done this evening. First readings, none. Ordinances, no third readings. We do have a second reading, ordinance number 2025.28, an ordinance establishing parking restrictions for the municipal parking lot located at 9 East Granville Street, Sunbury, Ohio, 43074, and declaring emergency. And I don't believe anything needs to be done. And then first reading ordinance number 2025.29, an ordinance approving the application of Jared Fodor to rezone approximately 1.410 plus minus acres of property owned by NMO Properties LLC located at 142 East Granville Street from Industrial District to Commercial District C2 pursuant to the City of Sunbury zoning code. Again, that's just a reading. That takes us to new and unfinished business. So we'll go around the horn here.
Tomorrow is Bring Your Bible Day. Hopefully you all partake.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Capel?
Nothing tonight.
That's cool.
I just wanted to say thank you and a shout out to First Impressions. I had texted Amber earlier. If you didn't notice, if you check out there when it's light out at that parking lot at Cherry Street in Columbus where those big potted urns are, they filled those suckers with the most beautiful fall flowers. I had texted Amber immediately and I said, "Are these new?" Because they're gorgeous. What a nice way to welcome folks into the town square here. They're really pretty. They did a great job.
Martin?
Only to say a week from yesterday, early voting begins. It's called in-person absentee voting because just the regular vote has to be on election day. So early absentee voting in person starts a week from yesterday, November 7th or October 7th, and runs till the Sunday before election day. So if you want to vote, you do it at the Board of Elections office over in Delaware.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, we have our next meeting, regular meeting, October 15th at 7:30 of the same year as we're in now. So looking for a motion to adjourn.
Second.
You're looking desperately for that motion.
Hey, can I get a second? Second by Mr. Capel.
I'm actually here for this, right?
Oh, roll call, please. Thank you.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Yes. Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Ms. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
5 yeas, we are adjourned.
And it's okay to